Hey Jerry's, and welcome back to my channel, Rex channel. If you're clicking in for the first time, you're absolutely welcome. Kindly hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and also put on your post notification bell so that you get notified whenever I put up a new video. And to every one of my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you all for the love and the support. You guys are the real MVPs. Today we're going to be making this elegant cowl off shoulder sleeve. It's gonna be exciting. If you're interested, keep watching. Hello guys, and you're welcome once again. Today we're going to be making that which you're seeing on the thumbnail. It's actually a cold shoulder sleeve, or rather a cold shoulder sleeve rather. Okay, so we're going to be using this pattern paper. I just have a piece of it right here and another fresh one. So the first thing we want to do is to get our start line. All right, and to get this sleeve, or to start up this sleeve, the first thing we need to do is to draft a basic off shoulder sleeve. Okay, so we're going to have to draft an off shoulder sleeve. So you want to start with this. Yeah, going ahead, the sleeve length that we're going to be making use of is about 24 inches. So when you're taking this measurement, take from the tip of your shoulder to the wrist right here, and the measurement we're using is about 24 inches. The sleeve length we're using is about 24 inches. Okay, but we're not going to be cutting 24 inches because we're going to have a cuff around at the end of the sleeve, and we're going to be using 6 inches for that cuff. That makes our main sleeve to be 18 inches. Okay, so we'll make that 18.5 inches so that we can have half inch to join. All right, remember I said you have to take your measurement from the tip of your shoulder, so you don't have to worry about adding allowance to make that fullness where you have the gathers. All right, because since it's going to be a cold shoulder, we're starting halfway, so you have enough to fall off. All right, and then our cowl shoulder effect is going to also have to give to it some fullness around the upper part of the sleeve, so you have nothing to worry about. So now we've gotten our length of our sleeve, and now what we want to do right here is having to take the measurement of the cold sleeve. On this part here, we're going to take 4.5 inches. This is like a standard for a bigger person, because the person I'm taking this measurement for is actually a size 16. So we'll be taking 4.5 on this point, and then you want to go down also from this line by 4.5. That is the round armhole, 4.5. Yeah, the reason why we're using 4.5 is because the client is on a big side. So for a size 12 or a size 14, you can use 4 inches, and then for anything less than that, you can probably use 3.5, but 4 would pass also. For I think 4 it's okay. 4 is okay, but for a bigger person, you want to use 4.5. So that's what we just did. So on this part here, to take the round sleeve measurement, we're going to be working with is 16 inches. 16 inches, which is divided by 2, is 8 inches. But since we want it to have some allowance there, we'll just make it 8.5. Okay, on this part, and then you want to drag whatsoever thing you have there down this way. And roll that out in this manner. So we use our curve rule to make this armhole curve right here, and then now we have our sleeve. So you have nothing to worry about. Since it's looking like a block, you have nothing to worry about, because at the end of it, we're going to be gathering this lower part. Okay, now we're going to be concentrating more on this part right here. So the next thing you want to do is to take this measurement so we can have a straight line right here. Remember, we took 4.5 inches. Okay, so we want to also mark 4.5 on this side, just to have a straight line here, because it's about time to make our lines so that we can introduce the slash and spread method. All right, so here we have 4.5 inches. I want to divide this into 4 lines. Yes, because I want to have so much fullness around this upper part. I'll be making use of a chiffon fabric for this tutorial. So since we have 4.5, I'm making the first line 1 inch, the next is 2 1/4, the next is 3 1/4, This is 1 inch, 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. So you want to rule that out in this manner. Good. And if you look closely, we have succeeded in making out 1 2 3 4 slash lines. We're going to be slashing from under the armhole line also, just to have that fullness, and then we're going to be gathering it to give the cowl effect. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce a fresh pattern paper, place this on it, and then we start up with our slashes. I forgot to mention that we're actually cutting on fold, alright? Well, since we're cutting on paper, it's fine, you can do this on a single sheet and on this also. But when you're transferring onto your fabric, be sure to use or to make to place it on fold. Okay, this part right here is going to be on fold this way. Okay, so the next thing I want to do right now, if you can look closely, I have introduced a new pattern paper. All right, so what we want to do right now is to cut out this and then place on this one. But first, before we do that, we're going to add more fullness or more space. Okay, I'll be making use of about 3 inches, so you can use from about 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, as much as you can, as much as you want to, or as much as your fabric can allow you to. So for this tutorial, we're going to be taking 3.5 inches, which I just did, and then you want to rule that out. Okay, you want to rule that out in this manner. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to cut this out and then place it on this. Now this is what we have, so we're going to place that this way. Okay, we're going to place that this way and then make our first slash. All right, so you want to cut this out. Let's pin that down so that we don't have our paper moving about. Okay, so we're going to cut this right now, and then I want to measure out the differences, okay, to make spaces in between them. So depends on how much we have, so we can make this about 2 inches. Okay, you can also change this if you have more fabric. Okay, this is 2 inches interval, so we're going to be placing this right here. We're going to be placing this right here. Yes, I have a video on a slash and spread sleeve on my channel, so you might want to check that out also. It's a beautiful tutorial that you don't want to miss. Okay, we have 2 inches right here, 2 inches interval here, so we're cutting out this other one right here, or better still, let's just label them 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, while I cut and then add up 2 inches interval every in between them. Okay, and this is the last one right here. So I'll just go ahead to pin to put that in place and then be back to cut. Okay, the next thing we want to do right now is to join these lines. So join me as I do that. I'll just be extending this line straight down to meet up with this. Okay, and then we're going to go this way. Okay, and then we're going to cut. Alright, so we're going to take this from this point right here down to this point. Okay, that's what we're going to cut out now. this is what we have right here. And then the next thing we want to do right now is to transfer this onto our fabric. Okay, fabric I'm going to use, it's a chiffon fabric. Okay, you can make use of chiffon, satin, crepe, duchess, any fabric that drapes easily so that it falls and then gives you that beautiful effect of the cowl effect. Okay, so at this point right here, right, I want us to take note of something. If you look at that picture on the thumbnail, around this point here, all right, there's a fold. Okay, I don't want to have any joining or a fold on the top part of my sleeve, of the cowl sleeve. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over. All right, I'm going to fold over this excess from this point right here into the sleeve, so that it just helps me, it helps me to take away stress of folding here. I hope we get that. All right, so you want to place this neatly this way, okay, and then fold in this manner. All right, now this is what we should have when you fold this. So I want to hold that down with my pin so that it doesn't move around. Okay, and then pin it here too. Good. So this is what we have, and then the next thing to do is just to cut it open. So this part that we have folded in is just so that we don't have to fold over around the sleeve there at the top of the sleeve, so that it will look neatly done. So join me. This is all that we need. Okay, and the next thing we want to do is to make notches around this point right here. So it's either ways. You can either pleat or you gather. Okay, yeah, so right now I'm even confused on which to do, but the picture on the thumbnail, it was gathered. Okay, you can see the gathering around there. Right now I'm confused. I just wish you were here to make this decision with me so that we can but please put that in the comment section. Please let me know what you think, if you would like for it to be pleated, or if you have gone for the pleats or you would have gone for the gathers. Okay, but for this tutorial I'll be pleating. Okay, I'll be pleating just so, but it was supposed to be gathers. All right, but I'll be pleating. All right, I made my decision to pleat. So what you want to do is this pleat here. So where you have, so everywhere you have the line, that's here, everywhere we made our lines, slash lines, we're going to make notches there and then here. Okay, so we're making notches. This is what we have. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then the last notch, which is supposed to be here, okay, which makes it 8. All right, so we're just going to make a notch there and then we're done. All right, so this was what I was talking about. This fold right here, this excess right here, we're going to just take to the serger and then interlock it. That's to weave it. Okay, so that there won't be any sort of joining here. So I'll just go ahead and then get my pin so that we can pin this together. So at this point we're going to pleat downwards. Okay, you want to pleat face downwards, so we're going to pinch this right here to come to this notch. Okay, and then we want to pin. I'm going to pin that down. Do the same for the next notch, the next one, to the next notch, the next notch, down to the next one. Okay, and then the last notch right here to the last notch. Okay, can you see the folds already? We're going to do the same thing on this other side. Okay, first I have to make these lines so that we can see clearly, since I'm using a black fabric. All right, so this first notch goes down to the number 2 notch, and and then we're going to pin that down. The next notch goes down to number 3 notch goes down to number 4 notch. Number 5 notch goes down to number 6 notch. And then number 7 notch goes down to number 8 notch. So we've done that. So I'm going to take to the sewing machine right now to tack this down, to put this in place. Okay, I'll just sew this here and sew this so I can take off my pins. Okay, I've sewn that down, and then this is what we have right here. Okay, take a look at that. Okay, and to this point also. All right, can we see what we have? And then this is the effect that we want to have when we're done. Next thing we want to do right now is the cuff. All right, so we're going to get our fabric. Please take notes of how I'm folding this. All right, I folded this way. The reason I'm doing this is I want to just cut the cuff at once. All right, I'm taking the cuff, so there's going to be a folding around here. This is going to be like the tip of the hem, rather the hem of my sleeve, of my cuff, and then the joining is going to be around here. So we're going to measure out 6 inches in length in this manner. Okay, well, remember I said we're using 6 inches, so we're going to also add ½ inch for joining. That makes it 6.5 inches. Okay, this way. All right, now you want to fold over in this manner. You have double folded edge facing you, and then you have these two right here open. Okay, now the measurement you want to take is the round wrist measurement, and this is how to take the round wrist measurement. That's around here. Ensure that you have it around this part of your wrist so that it can pass through. All right, and we have about 9 inches there. Okay, you can see, ensure that it goes round this, and you see we have 9 inches, and then about 6 inches from this part upwards. You want to measure what you have right there. Okay, and then we'll be working with about 10 inches also. So for this part, which is 9 inches, you want to divide that by 2, which is 4.5 this way, and then add 1 inch allowance this way. And then for this part right here, we got 10 inches, and that's 5 inches, but we're going to be adding ease. Okay, so let's use a 1/4 inch. So we're cutting 5 1/4 in this manner, and then 1 inch allowance. So we're going to rule that out, and that is going to be our sleeve cuff. So you cut for 2. So we're going to set this aside now, and then take this to the sewing machine. Run loose gather stitch at the hem of the chiffon to get to meet this measurement right here. Okay, to meet this measurement right here, and this measurement right here should be about 12 inches thereabouts. Okay, that's about 12.5 inches here. So we're going to gather this part to be 12.5 inches so that it matches with what we have here, and then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. Okay, to sew this up, remember this is going to be folded in this manner. Okay, like this, and then this way. All right, this way you have the sewing allowance. All right, but I want to conceal the sewing allowance for the cuff. All right, so we're going to turn over to the back of this fabric, which is this is the back, and then we're going to run our 1 inch allowance this way. Okay, we're going to do that this way, and then we're going to fold it out. So I'm going to sew this, and then gather my chiffon. All right, and then show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm done sewing this. All right, if you can see, this is my seam here. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to the front. I'm trying to conceal the seam allowance. That's what I'm trying to do. So you're going to just fold that out, like bring it out this way, and then this is what we have here. So you can see it's neatly done on the inside. Okay, you do that for the other sleeve too. Just bring it out. Try to bring it out halfway this way. Ensure that the joining of this is tallying and aligning with the other one inside. Okay, so this is what we have here for both sleeves. So we're going to set that aside. Yes, I've gone ahead to run loose gather stitch right here, if you can see that clearly. So I'm going to just pull that out. Okay, I'm going to drag to make my gathers. So we're going to gather this hem right here to the circumference of this band right here, which is about 10 inches as we measured earlier. So we're going to ensure that this is 10 inches. Okay, after gathering, make sure you gather to your desired circumference. Okay, and then you want to fix that in. You good. I have 12 inches around here. You just have to make that 12 inches so that you can have 1 inch on each side to join it, and then you have the 10 inches to play with. All right, so I'm going to gather this and then sew it onto this part right here, this open part where you have the upper arm circumference right here, and I'm going to do that and then attach it to the main dress, and then I'll show you what the final look is. Okay, if you've watched it this time, I want to say thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for clicking in. Thank you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and also put on the post notification bell if you enjoyed what you just learned, if you enjoyed what you just saw. Yeah, and also remember to drop a comment for me in the comment section. I'll be so glad to hear and to read from you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love, and until I see you in my next video, bye.